Right.
Smiling.
Hello and welcome to our first Human Tuesday. A bit later than planned, as some of you'll know, but such is the way of it. Yeah, maybe say a little bit more about procrastination another time. Don't be getting excited if that really affects you, because I have no answers, only questions. So, welcome to the garden, to the yoga in the outdoors. Yeah, let's just see how this works. Already I've had a couple of problems with the volume, so yeah, see how it goes. So, if you're on a flat surface, sitting on a block, easy crossed leg, just like this. Feel a weight on your sit bones. Gravity just the body's stopped. Just be aware of the movement in your mind, how it still continues on. Feeling no inertia at all, or need to slow down or even stop. Now we bring our breath into the mix. And just being more aware of your normal in breath, your normal out breath. I'm just going to take a few minutes to build some detail into how we're sitting. So eyes opened, eyes closed, doesn't matter. So just let your breath come and go. Easy in, easy out. And then bring your attention to your sit bones. Equal weight if you need to. Lift up, get the angle better, come on to the top, so the top towards the front edge of those sit bones. Feel the pelvis sort of tilting forwards. I'm on a little bit of a hill, like the whole of the garden, but it's a lovely natural tilt for that. And the tummy lifts back against it, so you can kind of feel that there's movement in response. So movement one way there provokes a response. That sort of pelvic tilt, the fronts of the sit bones, the tilt in the pelvis, the tummy lifts back against that. And use that contradiction to feel that you can lengthen up through your spine, open through the collarbones, shoulder blades in and down the back. So notice I've overworked that, haven't I? So it needs to be tilt, lift, broaden, not forwards, but lifting here. Shoulder blades in and down the back. Helps the arms do that, but if you overdo it, pushes forwards. You're shorter in the back. Yeah. So you find that intelligence, I suppose, in the pose, knowing what to look for. So even that weight on the sit bones, how we're sitting and lifting, and those movements described, sort of in a reaction to gravity, weight of gravity, the lift, and then that openness and that detail. And the crown, or maybe just above the crown, the top of the head, lengthening up the whole of your face. You can tell I'm not used to human company, scratching my nose. Try and behave. Natural in breath, natural out breath. Just have a look at the detail of breathing in. Tummy moves out. The diaphragm pushes down, air comes in. same time, breathe in, chest lifts. Just find where you are with your breathing. In breath. Tummy out, chest lift. Out breath. It all just lets go and it takes up the previous. In breath. There's those actions and there is movement. There's action on the in breath, and the out breath is just let go. And it's elastic recoil. Let's just add another layer above that. And you're up tall in the inhalation. And then as you exhale, let your pelvis roll back and take up that C shape with your spine. Tuck your chin in. Inhale, roll forwards, bring that lift and that openness. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, lift and open, the same detail as before. And exhale. So start with the pelvis that moves. Allow or try and feel your lumbar spine, your thoracic spine, right up into your neck, your cervical spine. Remember the warnings about pain, we don't do pain. Niggles, we've got a question mark over. Inhale. Look, I'm not looking up to the sky, I'm not craning my neck, I'm being long through the spine. Loving the feeling of the sun on the eyelid. So, if it's too much to go to the end of the range either way, just do something more in the middle. That's fine, just move. Just explore it. And then coming up tall, we're going to do some gentle twists. On the exhalation, just move across. Don't worry about how turning your head, just keep your head squarish between the shoulders. Keep that lift. Think about the ribs moving round. And back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, move. And back. Inhale and move. So just explore the movement. Don't go into strain at the ends. Think about the detail, that tilt in the pelvis, lift into the sternum. If you need to pause, come back to here for a few breaths. Exhale and move. Starting that inhalation on the way back. Doing most of it here. So keep going, feel equal weight through both sit bones. Feel how that changes as you move. Try and maintain equal weight. You know, look at how your body tries to get it right. Breaths. Next time we're going to go to the end. Yeah, comfortable end, and take a few breaths. Try and get some equality going in the different lungs and the different sides of the rib cage. Okay. Inhale, exhale, and go. In breath. I'm going to think equal weight through both sit bones. I'm a lift in here. You're looking for that openness across the collarbone. It's easy for the back arm, it's harder for that front arm. And the center, the loveliness of the wood chip, wood bark. So equal weight, both sit bones. Try and feel that the head is still center of the shoulders, center of the pelvis. So the spine is like it's twisted, but everything's important. The movement has happened around it. The spine's movement has kind of been within itself. Talk too much about this stuff. Once more either side. Remember front ribs to back ribs. Just check in with overdoing it in that direction. And go. And when you're in this, just look out for overdoing it in this sort of direction. There's lots of ways to get it wrong, but that's where I would probably go, which is why it comes to mind. And I'm kind of bringing this hip round. Make sure you leave this side behind, while still thinking I can lift that tummy. To the center, couple of breaths. Loves a bit of yoga. Also loves the camera, but then he's beautiful. Aren't you, mate? Right. Let's move on. It's a shame that you only just got here. But anyway, have a stand up. Actually, no, come into downward dog. Hands, shoulder width, feet wider than hip width. Sit bones high. Bent knees, get that length through the spine. Make sure you're not over pushing the ribs like I am there. I love to pretend that was just for teaching purposes, but it takes time to get the awareness out of your thinking brain and into the pose, and I'm just not there yet. And I suppose that's why it's called practice. Right. So, Tadasana. Big toes together. Heels together. Tummy lifting. Collarbones wide. Reach up. Urdhva Hastasana. Don't let the front ribs hang in there. Utkatasana. Nulakatasana. Forwards into Uttanasana. Remember, have your blocks if you need the height. Have a chair to work to. You're initially coming in with a straight back, long back of the neck, and then when you've gone your full distance, you start to let the bend come in. Hands to the hips, straighten the back, follow the sternum all the way out. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Remember, back foot turns slightly in, front foot and leg all the way out. Hands on the hips to start. Tummy lifting. It's like you're doing it all on one plane. Everything is moving that way. So this hip is trying to stay back. It's limited by this groin and how tight that is. That one keeps it forward. You have to rotate the knee to face out in the direction we're going. And come in. does help, doesn't it? So, this is a better way to be right here. And it's a challenge for the balance. Okay, opposite side, Trikonasana, sternum lifting, try and find that sort of equality or equanimity with either side. Exhale and go. Remember, as you go, you have to bring an element of a twist into it just to stay straight, to stay facing forwards. Okay. Up at the top hand, if you just keep looking forwards, or close the eyes, really get into it. Listen to what's going on in the joints. Let them keep you upright. So, feet to the front. Step the feet together. Tadasana. If you can't get all of that going at the same time, big toes together, heels apart. Get the knees lifting. Not pushed back, not jammed back, straight legs, strong here, lifting up. A little bit of internal rotation in the groin, but feel this movement is connected to pushing down on the balls of the big toes, the heads of those metatarsals. Urdhva Hastasana, Utkatasana, sitting down, the hill helps. Uttanasana to whatever your starting position is. You know, if you're very stiff in this, if you're up here somewhere, that might be where you work. You know, rather than just hanging here. Or maybe hanging there is okay if you bend your knees a little. And if you've got a bit of a belly like myself, a little bit wider, so that you give the belly space, you get the feeling, you get the benefit of the full fold. Not the fold your belly allows you to do. These insights are important, aren't they? Up I come then. 2 more poses. Standing, wider apart. Yeah. And come into Virabhadrasana 2. So you can check these through the fundamentals course. So you're resisting back with this hand, sitting down into it. And as you bring everything back, try and bring that lift in. Doesn't matter the strength, the distance, just connect with that action of it. So trying to undo this, that's where the shoulders need to be, and the head on the top of a really active and well-placed spine should just be able to turn and casually gaze that way. So if it's not a casual gaze, there's something else going on in the back that you need to work on. I would say that's most of us, okay? So if you're straining to do this and you won't let go of it, that is your ego taking charge of your yoga practice. Good to notice it, and good to go and make it sit down and watch, because there's a few things that could really learn. Right. We done that side? We'll do this side. Change round. Hopefully I'll have the earpiece back and ready for the next class. Human Tuesday, toughest day of the week apparently. And I can sink down into this, trying to keep the back body going that way. It comes from the back foot, the back edge there, trying to affect that. And this is trying to move the opposite direction. The tummy does not want to work at all in that, so tailbone down and really try and find that lift. Yeah, notice it not working. There we go. One more time either side. Wide apart, and then exhale, sink into it. So as you reach back with that hand, it's a reminder for the back foot too. So reaching down with that outer edge. Don't overdo it. Stable back foot.
Lift in there, just keep the hip back. Feel the communication between that and that. Try and make it speak differently. Yeah. That and that. Lengthen in there. Just do all of that. Exhale, can you drop any further into it without additional effort? Up. Other side. Find the tummy. Back leg. Lengthen. And up. Feet together. Tadasana. There's more detail if you look through. I think you can search for fundamentals, also available on YouTube. It goes into the detail of the poses a bit more. And those of you that know me, you'll know I struggle to keep the talking down, and that's part of my plan to delegate it. Utkatasana. Now, Prasarita Padottanasana. Wide apart. You're going to come forwards. It's a real stretch on the adductors. So for me, that's where I'm going to get it. Other people might feel it lower back. So the rules, the setup is like this. Toes, pointed least forwards or slightly in. You're looking to feel the whole of the sole of your foot. You know, ball of the big toe, ball of the little toe, heel, outside edge if you can, down. Active legs, like you were going to try and do some Charlie Chaplin maneuver and come up to here, okay? And then Tadasana in the upper body. Exhale and come forward, so straight back. It's the whole pelvis is coming. It's actually the hips that are bringing you forwards. Now, when you feel you start to lose it, that's you. You've gone your full distance. So just say, that's here. Maybe I should have a chair. Something wide enough for my shoulders. You know, a couple of blocks. Or maybe you can get to here. That's nice. There's no equipment. Straight back. Lengthen through your spine. Hips in line with your heels. And if you further you can go. So if that's your maximum, that's fine. If you're further to go, you can either, right, 2 steps. Next step, if you think you're near your limit, but you have a bit more, might just be to let yourself bend forwards and down into it. If you're on your chair, you can do that by sliding your hands down the legs. But if you've got more, you look for that line between the insteps. Step your hands back to it. Exhale, you stay forwards, you stay long through the spine, and then at the last moment drop your head. Totally cheating because this is on a hump and it's not flat. The ground is really, really close to me. And I still can't get my head down. So don't let your ego take over. Prasarita Padottanasana, that's what we're in. Okay. So, feet a little in, and then step together, Tadasana. 2 more poses, 1 starting position. Dandasana on a block. So the Danda is the bamboo spine, or bamboo stick that represents the spine. Belt. If nobody told you about a belt, be prepared for these ambushes. Lift and lengthen through the spine. Straight and strong legs. sternum lifting, collarbones wide. Paschimottanasana. No, Dantasana. We're going to come forward and same as we did, standing and coming, you keep your spine as long and straight as you can, for as long as you can. And then as you come into it, you're thinking, you're trying to lift your sternum up and over your toes. As if. Up and over your toes. As long as you can before you might think about exhaling, letting go. And coming out. So feel free, pause, do that a couple of times before coming off the block and into Shavasana. Now, I'll get things started and then press pause and be in Shavasana for as somewhere between as long as you need and as long as you're able. So, lying down, lie down. You keep your chin tucked in. So I'm a bit low, given the curve. Straighten the legs out. Tuck the shoulder blades under. Draw your tummy towards your spine, and your spine towards the floor. And make whatever adjustments you need so that when you let go of that effort, it doesn't spring all the way back. And then exhale and let go. Take the next couple of minutes of using your in-breath to ground you in where you are. Sounds around you. Orientations as to the world. So lovely to be out. And your exhalation, you're letting go, you get heavier on the floor, you're just melting into the floor. Any little cricks, back of the neck, maybe you need to think about a half a block. In the absence of that, I would use my arms and sacrifice that. Still shoulder blades flat on the floor, still letting go through the whole body. So have a pause there and continue your Shavasana in your own time, for your own time. And when you're ready, then bend up your knees. Roll over, generally onto your right, all the way over. Pause there if you need to, and then come up to sitting. Easy cross-legged again. Forgot to swap the legs, didn't I? Next time you'll be ahead of me. That lift, that openness, but with an element of softness from our Shavasana. Well done for taking the time to get on your mats and do something important and useful to yourself. Namaste. Wow, okay.